Hello everybody, I am Jay Shade and you are listening to The Voice of Reason. So after a week of not doing a Raw review, I am back to review this boring show. You know, everybody was going crazy, getting on my case. Oh my god, why are you talking about Breaking Bad? I want a Raw review. I want this. Talk about wrestling, only wrestling. Well, here it is. Alright, I'm back to review a boring show. Let's all get excited to talk about some boring fucking wrestling. I am back to talk about how much this shit sucks, so I hope you enjoy it. You know, it's like I just don't care right now. That's mostly it. I mean, you got the baseball season going into the playoffs. We're getting close to playoff baseball. The football season just started. A lot of shows I'm watching right now. You know, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Breaking Bad being those two. Also, Boardwalk Empire. Hockey season is starting in a month. You know, wrestling is like the last thing on my list. But apparently, you know, that's all anybody cares about. So I'll talk about wrestling for you guys. Okay, so we kick off Raw tonight with the Edge. Edge comes out. Good to see Edge back. He does his little cutting edge segment. He says his guest was supposed to be Randy Orton, but he brings out Daniel Bryan, and he says he sees a lot of himself in Daniel Bryan and all that, and he thinks Daniel Bryan could beat Randy Orton. And then Triple H comes out, and Edge and Triple H have a war of words themselves. Edge talks against Triple H, says he could do it since he's not an employee of the company. Triple H says that Edge was never successful. And then he says Daniel Bryan could prove himself tonight in a match against Dean Ambrose. The Shield will be behind Dean Ambrose, and Daniel Bryan will have the Big Show behind him in his corner. And he says since he can't do anything to Edge, he'll do stuff to the people closest to him, and the Shield will bring out Christian, who's beaten down, and they leave him on the ramp for dead. You know, it was an okay start, but it was like 20 fucking minutes long. Way overdrawn. Overlong. You know, opening segments do not need to be 20 minutes, close to a half hour long. It's like the whole length of a fucking TV show. So yeah. Then you get Curtis Axel versus Kofi Kingston. This was a boring match. Nothing really happened. Curtis Axel gets disqualified. And, you know, they play up, oh, if Curtis Axel gets disqualified on Sunday, then he'll be alone in the ring with CM Punk. Boring match. Then you get Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt. Another boring match, just short. Dolph Ziggler just being a nobody, being a jabroni. Nobody cares about him anymore. Gets beat by Bray Wyatt. They're doing absolutely nothing with the Wyatt family since the match with Kane. You know, who could give a fuck about the Wyatt family right now? Good going. Then you get Paul Heyman. He says that he tore a ligament in his knee. And he comes out with his doctor to say that he can't have the match with CM Punk on Sunday. Then Brad Maddox brings out a WWE doctor, and he does tests on Paul Heyman. And he says that Paul Heyman is fit to compete. There's nothing wrong with him. Then CM Punk comes running out, and Paul Heyman runs away. So Heyman was trying to get out of the match. You know, it was not that good of a segment, not that bad, just whatever. Then you get some Divas bullshit nobody cares about. Then you get Alberto Del Rio versus R-Truth. Who gives a fuck about R-Truth? I mean, really, why is this guy on TV? Nobody cares about this match. Boring, just yawn. Alberto Del Rio beats R-Truth, yay. Then you get Antonio Cesaro, and Toronto gets a big, nice surprise. The return of Santino Marella. That's the Toronto surprise. You know, a night I guess we'll never fucking forget. More like a night we'll never remember. The return of Santino Marella. A fucking goofball. A bitch. A fucking Barney G-rated bullshit. Santino. And he gets the victory over Antonio Cesaro. It just looks so fake. It looks so childish. It just looks so fucking phony. But, you know, here we go. More Santino antics, whoop-de-doo, coming to you every Monday night. And I'm supposed to, you know, worry about reviewing this shit every Monday night. You know, let's forget about, you know, real sports where, you know, you can actually be excited for something, football, where things matter. No, everybody wants me to talk about Santino. And if I don't do that, everybody goes apeshit. All right. Then you get Damien Sandow versus The Miz. Boring match. Fandango comes out again to with the music playing to distract Miz. You know, this was unoriginal the first time this happened with Fandango, and it's unoriginal the 30th time it's fucking happened. Damien Sandow rolls up Miz and gets the victory. Then you get Goldust versus Randy Orton. Goldust's return match, if he wins, Cody Rhodes will get his job back. And this was the match of the night. It was a good match, probably the one really good segment on the show. But, you know, it just dawned on me. You know, a 50-year-old, I don't know how old he is, but Goldust, a 50-year-old man in a gold suit with gold fucking face paint, you know, nothing more than a mid-carder back in the Attitude Era, is just more entertaining and pulling off a better match than 3/4 of the fucking roster right now. That's, you know, that's the state of the WWE. A mid-carder, a fucking, just a legit mid-carder from back then is better than any, like most of the fucking main eventers on there right now, like Randy Orton and people like that. This was a good match. Goldust, you know, worked his ass off this match. You know, he didn't look like he was in shape through the suit, but he pulled off a pretty good fucking match. Randy Orton gets the victory with an RKO. There's a nice spot with Goldust doing the crossroads. Got the near fall, but Randy Orton gets the victory with the RKO. Then you get Ryback versus Rob Van Dam. Boring match. Nothing happens. Ryback gets disqualified. Beats up RVD. Okay. Then you get the main event. And I'm just blown by this review just because this show was so fucking boring. I was like, oh my god, I was so dead. By Dean Ambrose versus Dan Bryan, you know, you would think that, oh, this is an exciting matchup. Dean Ambrose versus Dan Bryan, two, you know, real good, talented guys. And by this time, I was like, I don't even give a fuck anymore about this match because I was so tired. I was like laid all across my fucking bed like Jabba the Hutt, you know. I just did not give a shit. You know, it was an okay match. It wasn't even anything that great, even though I'm sure people will say it is. But, you know, it was an okay match. Big Show is in Dan Bryan's corner, but the stipulation is he can't lay his hands on anybody or he'll be fired. Which makes no sense because he has the ironclad contract. Now, they tried to do it last week where they said he has the contract, but if he doesn't perform, then they could fire him. But how does that have to do with him beating people up? That's not a case of not performing, so how could he be fired from that? Just some continuity issues with the WWE here. But anyway, Daniel Bryan gets the victory over Dean Ambrose. The Shield tries to get involved, but Dan Bryan sidesteps them, gets a roll-up on Dean Ambrose for the victory. Shield beat down Dan Bryan. Then Randy Orton comes out, brings Dan Bryan in the ring. Triple H comes out and says that Big Show has to do the knockout punch to him or he'll be fired. Big Show doesn't want to do it. Randy Orton's yelling at him, yelling at Big Show, but he better do it, he better do it. And then Randy Orton turns around and Daniel Bryan does the Shining Wizard to his face. So Big Show gets out of that predicament and Raw ends with Daniel Bryan holding up the belt saying yes. So I guess that means Daniel Bryan isn't going to win at Night of Champions since the person last standing on the Raw before usually is the person that loses. So that's a shame. But there you go. There's my review of Raw. Just another boring show. Shitty show, you know. What do you want me to talk about, you know? I'm in playoff baseball mode. I'm in football mode. I'm in Breaking Bad mode. I just don't have a desire right now. So, yeah, there you go. Boring Raw. And it pains me to say, but I will not be able to do the Raw review next week because Monday night next week will be my 23rd birthday, turning 23, just like Michael Jordan, you know. Big birthday. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do, but what I'm definitely not going to do is punish myself on my birthday and make me watch 3 hours of Raw. You know, I want to give myself birthday presents, not birthday punishments. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to go through next week without a Raw review, you know. And it's like, you know, I understand people subscribe to me to get the Raw reviews. They love wrestling and all that. But, you know, it's just hard. It gets hard for me to talk about this stuff and watch it all the fucking time, you know. I'm just, like, enthusiasm is going, especially at this time of the year when there's a lot of sports happening. Especially hockey's going to start in about a month. So, you know, just understand that, you know. I mean, don't go crazy on me. I understand. I mean, for people that just go absolutely batshit and say, oh my God, you better only talk about wrestling, then, yeah, fuck you. But just understand, it's pretty tiring, this shit. It's boring. It's just 3 hours of bullshit when I could be, watching a sports game, watching Monday Night Football, looking at standings, worrying about something that's actually exciting, rather than shit that you're going to get for the same fucking 3 hours or whatever. So there you go. There's my little Raw review. Hope you enjoyed it and all that shit. I'll probably do a predictions thing for Night of Champions and review Night of Champions. But Night of Champions, after the review Night of Champions, don't expect a Raw review because it's my birthday next week. So there you go. As always, I'm Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.